Hey guys, what up? This is Zari, back after a pretty damn long hiatus, right after the beginning of me starting this whole YouTube thing, but I'm back for the time being, bringing you something that I think is gonna be absolutely fucking cancerous to Yu-Gi-Oh! For the most part. Bringing you Satellaknights. New archetype, coming in the set after Primal Origin, the Duelist Advent, which will also have the introduction of Pendulum Summoning, if you guys didn't know. So I'll get started off right here, just letting you guys know that there is a Chaos variant, hence the Summoner Monks. And given that they synergize incredibly well with the Knights, just given the Knights get their effects on summon, no matter the summon. And saying we're here playing against some Chaos Dragons. The game didn't really matter, I just wanted to show off how stupid these guys can potentially be. See, right now, we already got generic rank 3. Their boss monster, Stellar Deltatellos. And a nasty dude makes it so the enemy cannot respond to your summons. So, Trap Hole, Torrential, no. In that case, possibly even Solemn, really. I'd have to look into that one. But, going on, again, playing against Chaos Dragons, pop that Wyvern into a Red Ice Darkness Metal. And, I'm gonna be honest right now, I did not give this guy the time of day. You can see at this point in game he was actually a bit cocky, given I just gave him a light pulsar of all things, but yeah. Anyways, Book of Moon, and you can see right now, dude, 2500, 2600 attack, wait, no, that's 2500, sorry, I'm a little bit blind. As well as 21 defense, easily gets over Red Ice Darkness, meaning I don't have to attack into that face down. And again, given these guys go through each other so quickly, I opted to put in Daigusto Emerald into the deck. Given we have the chance now, I'm just gonna show off all the different Satellaknights. Vega, that's the Pollux of the deck, adds any Tellarknight from the deck to your hand when summoned. Deneb is... Altair is the Coach Soldier Wolfbark of the deck, on summon, bring back any Tellarknight from the grave. And, last one is Vega, special summon anyone from the hand. So it's their Kaus, I believe is how it goes. And again, probably have these names wrong. These guys are pretty much going to phase out Constellars. Given they do everything they do but better, they don't lose hand advantage as hard when they make their plays. And given their boss monster is a generic rank 3, that's kind of saying something. But besides that, their boss monster, besides preventing response on summon, also replaces himself when he's sent to the graveyard. And to capitalize further on the bullshit, we have Supply Unit, which when he's gone, well, you know, places card in your hand as well. And sadly, I'd show you guys more of this duel. It's just more of the ransacking, really. But how do I best put this? Yeah, error. There's not much I can do about that until they patch this. But that's the replay. And moving on. God dang, I sound like this is so unplanned. Anyways, here's the deck profile itself. I did say it was a Chaos variant. You guys didn't see me, well actually you did see the BLS, but quick run over the deck list. We'll start off with 3 ofs. Altair, the Wolfbark, Deneb, the Magellan, and Vega, who is the Pollux. I believe that's more accurate. And going off further in, 3 ofs, Kagato Kage, again to supplement the further Chaos variant, just because we don't exactly want Dead Hand, and given everything in our extra deck is generic, why the fuck not supplement it with this? Granted, it doesn't let us... We do lose cards in doing it, but they're still pretty quickly replaced, really. Going into our limited section, in monsters, Blackluster, because Chaos, and all this. Chaos Sorcerer, at 1, because I think that's just a good number for him. 2 Summoner Monks, because, again, massive synergy with everything. Anonymous, because entire light archetype. Anonymous is still fucking busted. And Rhoda, because, like Constellars, Okay, not like Constellars, there's some variants in Constellars, but all the Satellaknights, warriors. Level 4. As if we didn't need another reason to keep Rhoda at 1, right? Well, apparently we did. Rhoda was at 3, I guarantee this deck would put it at 1. Moving on. Upstart, because Summoner Monk fodder and speed. MST, because we want to make sure our plays go off. Book of Moon, because evade Veiler, evade nasty things overall, and more Summoner Monk bait. Satellaknight Bridge, their hero lives for the most part. Swap a knight with a knight from your deck. A knight that's on the field for 1 in your deck. And only 1 per turn. A single supply unit, because it's a massive MST target. Summoner Monk bait. And of course, if it lives, then... well, yeah. This card's actually kind of silly. It helps supplement your advantage when you're already ahead, and... it's bad when you're behind, but other than that, I mean, I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons. After 1 turn of use, it'll essentially replace itself without... well, not the monster itself. In a long game is where it really shines, I guess. Overall, I like the card, but and more than 1... 2 Forbidden Lances. The limited trio and traps. 2 Cult of Haunteds, and a trap stun. And finally, another piece of their support, Sacred Constellation Factor, which is essentially what I think is going to really put this deck over the top. It's a Solemn warning with a stupidly trivial cost. Send a Tellarknight monster to your graveyard from the field, negate any spell, trap, or monster effect, and then draw a card. I wouldn't be so optimistic about this deck if it wasn't for this card, really, especially given the fact that you draw a fucking card for it. You're basically breaking even with this card when, given how powerful it is, I don't think it needed that addition. Anyways, moving on to the extra deck, 3 Stellanite Deltatellos, sorry. Because again, going over it, makes it so your summons can't be responded to. It's generic. We can easily recycle it with Daigusto Emerald, who, given this deck can cycle quickly through everything, it'll put a lot of monsters in grave, and you can easily get an Emerald out onto the field like nothing. Running them at 2, I think, is maybe overkill, but I like Emerald at 2 in this case. A Primal Origin card, so not released just yet, not until May, I believe, anyways. Ragna Zero. There's a monster on the field whose attack is different from its original attack. You can pop it, draw a card. More card advantage in a deck that already has a metric fuck ton of it. Moving on, King of the Feral Imps, given 3 Kagato Kage. It's also another dark, so I figured why not. Again, focusing on the plussing, and again, it's a 2300 beater. That helps you search through your deck faster than it harder, which isn't bad. Archetype for obvious reasons. Let's just get rid of all the obvious ones now. Exciton for obvious reasons. Okay, those are the obvious ones. Oh, no, not necessarily. Paladinamo for obvious reasons. Roach, because, I think we'll be going into a format with a lot more inherent summoning. Extra deck summons or Light Swarms are going to be a thing again. Dark Armed, because Insectors are still a thing, and a scary thing at that. Maestroke has good defensive fall if you don't have anything else to do. Evolve All Chain, because top decking any of these 2 is always nice. Consequently, just in case you really want to get a draw off, it combos well with Emerald. And trust me on this, you can get... it's not that uncommon that you'll get 2 Exceed summons in a turn. So, if it has to be these 2, then I guess, you know. Abyss Dweller, because Mermails are still going to be a thing. The ban list, I mean, they're still using Salvage. And all they got rid of Gund, and it's still a deck that spends very little resources for all the utility and power and speed that it has. So, I may say bump this up to 2, maybe get rid of the Maestroke. And Cowboy, just because it seals games. And that's obvious enough. And that covers the main and extra deck, and just some notable cards. You can also main deck as well as good side deck tech options that work really well with the deck. First of all, given you have so much card advantage, and in the early game it's especially good because... well, first I'll go into this. Phoenix, Wind Blast, and Raigeki Break, and the reason why I say these is because not only do you have a lot of card advantage, but also, in the early game it'll shine especially, because the ideal combo is in this deck is as follows. You want to have your Magdalene in the grave, which is Deneb in this case, and you want to have a Vega and an Altair in hand. Essentially, normal summon Vega lets you special summon your Altair, which will net you your Deneb from the grave. Yes, that is how it goes. Which will allow you to add a Tellarknight monster from your deck to your hand. And, upon that, you can overlay into your boss monster and pop something or anything else you might need. And in the very first turn, or second turn even, setting one of these, having the other combo pieces in hand, it's a really idealized situation. No doubt, but this will help you get your combos off in the early game a lot easier. If it ever comes to that. Other, obviously you have to nix the respective lights and darks, or, sorry, respective differences in the deck to use these, but, Rivalry of the Warlords and Gozen match, in the case of Gozen. Nix your Chaos monsters for the side deck tech as well. Or Rivalry and nix your non-warriors, which you have enough. And, not sure if there's a Dark Warrior. I think Blade Armor Ninja is dark. And given its entire archetype warriors... Okay, Blade Armor Ninja is not dark. But if there's a Dark Warrior out there, then Rivalry all the better, because you can still keep your Chaos monster in there, Blackluster Soldier, namely. Other, this is going into the ideology of siding against what's being sided against you. Because there's no doubt that this deck's going to see a lot of hate from Light Imprisoning Mirror, Skill Drain, any other choice, really. And this will allow you to, well, get rid of it really easily. That and it lets you, tech in other options, synchro options mostly, most likely BLs, because it's fucking BLs. Not limited to this, of course, but it's definitely something, it'll give your opponent a run for their money. With this on the field, they'll have to spend a lot to get it off the field, if at all. Is my thought process behind it, and as is most other people's thought process on it. So, good card. Otherwise, other good synchros that you might side in if you put Trap Eater in as well. Stardust Spark's an obvious choice. Scrap Dragon. I just like BLs. I would keep him in. Stardust Spark, consequently, as well, if I had to. Maybe keep one of each in. Just because a Light and a Dark, respectively, again, feeds into the whole Chaos variant idea. DNA Surgery, just because it does not hurt us in the least, while it hurts a lot of things that'll probably see some play in coming formats if Noble Knights keep getting supported, for instance, or if Boojins never get hit. And given the hype train behind those, you know, I mean, they don't have a Beast Boojin on the field, Beast Warrior, sorry. They can't do jack with all their hand and grave traps. And guess what DNA Surgery does? It makes all your monsters warriors. And still on the idea of getting rid of your opponent's hate against you, either Twister or Dust Tornado. Either or, really. I'm more of a fan of Twister personally, but they both see play. And Full House, just because, again, a lot of continuous hate is out there for this deck, and this will put a nice stop to it, really. I wouldn't phrase it any other way, I'll just stop it. This is, again, a sacky as all fuck card, but when it pays off, and we've seen that happen in a lot of big tournaments recently. So, definitely a nice option. And, for the most part, again, just going over the strong points of the deck, it's a super consistent +1 engine that can heavily abuse any, well, generic Exceed out there, of which, again, the rank 4 engine is probably the strongest out there just for the sheer versatility of it. I mean, this is just scratching the surface. This is... Maybe, I'd nix an Emerald, maybe, as well as something else. What was the other one? Mace Stroke for something else. When those things come out. I doubt we'll stop seeing support for rank 4 anytime soon. And, of course, we can't forget about their fucking at 3 Solemn Judgment. Not just Warning, Judgment. That all you have to do is send one of these to the grave to use it. This dude included. And it's really fucking silly, I think. the pure variant, from what I've seen, is just as strong, or using Tin Goldfish or any other summon enhancer. You don't necessarily have to go Chaos. I just figured I may as well toss some sack into this. So, yeah, that is Satellaknights. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll try and be a bit more active. And, like, comment, subscribe, whatever, what have you. Have a good day, people. This is Ari signing off.